Thank you, thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA series. We're back for round 4 of season 8. Going to be a brilliant race today. We're at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for, well, what was originally forecast to be quite a wet race, but looks now like it's going to be more on the dry side. We're going to go with green in GT3 qualifying now. We're just trying to find you some cars that are actually out on track. I'm joined today by Adrian, first time in the commentary booth for Adrian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have someone new in. Kirby couldn't make it today. So GT3 qualifying, I know you're normally in the stewarding booth. Qualifying, not normally the busiest time in the stewarding booth, I imagine, compared to in the race.
No,
but
definitely not. It's way more calmer. This is where, at this point, we are just getting situated on who has what, who will get assigned a class to start. Because usually there's 3 of us, so we all watch the different class starts, and then as we finish a lap, then that's when we go live and see all the different incidences.
Yeah, so a little bit different in the broadcasting booth. There's a lot going on, a lot of drivers coming across the line, setting laps, as I'm sure everyone that watches along at home will know. It's going to be a busy session today. We've got a very full GT3 grid, as we have done the last couple of seasons. Dry, as I just mentioned, which was unexpected, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see who's actually done some practice dry quali laps.
Yeah, if you're expecting wet and you get a dry track or vice versa, then it definitely does mess with you a little mentally, but we will see how the drivers cope.
Yeah, really think it's going to be an exciting one today. We've got a couple of people out on track at the moment on flyers, just trying to work out who's at the front of that queue. I think it's the driver that we're following now, which is Alex Ott. But he's tucked up here behind one of the Asalif cars. I think that's the 21 of Matteo Ubertali, who's on an out lap, I think. So he's either getting a very nice tow or he's getting held up a lot. It's going to depend where they're both in the McLaren, actually, so similar strengths, so hopefully not getting held up too much if indeed Ubertali is on an outlap. But Fox, as I'm sure you know, it's all about the banker laps really at this stage. Everybody's just trying to get their eye in. This session is, I think, 11 minutes long now, so we've got a couple of runs to try and get that lap in. Alex Ott then going to come down the back straight, but the main overtaking zone on the track, to be honest, really, and then he's going to come into that famous chicane with the wall of champions on the outside to set a lap, and we have got a couple of people in front of him. Apologies for that. Ignas Vincereski then sets the benchmark time. That's 34.755. Alex Ott, though, slots in behind him. Say behind him, it's still 7 tenths off of what Ignas did in the Acura, so absolutely flying in the Acura. Luigi Nespolini slots into second place in the other Ford.
Very, very similar times by the Fords there, and the McLaren's not too far behind. What is that? 2 tenths off of the oh god, the P3, Alex Ott.
Yeah, we've seen the Fords be strong a couple of weeks in. Actually, I think they've kind of come alive this season a little bit more, and they're maybe handling quite well over the curbs in the final chicane as well. Ignas going quicker as he runs, as is Ariel Falk. He's just set a purple sector 1. I know he's showing yellow sectors at the bottom of the page, but we've got a purple showing on a different timing software for Ignas, but it could just be that he's very, very marginally either way. We sometimes get slightly different numbers depending on what software you're looking at.
Yeah, the different telemetry, different data is all processed differently, so we'll see as he crosses the line.
Ariel Falk still improving, as we mentioned, there, currently in 5th position. Comes through the final chicane, he's going to fly to the line now, no improvements ahead of him. I think Falk will be on for an improvement, but I don't know if it's going to move up the order, and it does. Splits the Fords to go P3, but Ignas is looking pretty good in P1 at the moment, still 6 tenths clear of the rest of the field, and we've got quite a field spread as well here. Remember, GT3 class has the AM and Pro field, so points scored differently, so normally we'd expect the Pro drivers to be further up the grid, and that's how it is at the moment. Those guys that are a couple more seconds off the pace are mostly in the AM class. Interesting to see Ignis went into the pits after that second flyer as well. We've got a couple of drivers that have carried on for a couple of consecutive laps. It's interesting they're trying to get more
higher temperature going into the car. That way you have better grip. That way you have your better time.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyre temperature pretty key. I think we'll see that in the GTP qualifying session as well. Jesus Jimenez on for an improvement, but I don't think he's set a lap time yet. Trying to find him on the driver tracker, but struggling there. And he drops off the order, so it must have actually invalidated that lap. Sander de Boer still to set a lap time. We've got a lot of people. Sander de Boer goes P14 in the Porsche. Luigi Nespolini has closed in a little bit on Ignis, but his own still only still puts him nearly half a second off of what Ignis did. So absolutely flying in that car at the moment. Alex Ott is improving as well. Comes across the line and it goes to P2, 2 temps off of Ignis's time. That's game on, I think.
Game on is indeed. It's going to be very, very fun. Last few laps here.
A lot of people still setting lap times out there. Jesus Jimenez is on another flyer to try and get a time on the board. Batali goes to P8 in the McLaren. Kellenberger goes to P9. Improvements from both of those drivers, but still over a second. Alex are unhappy with one of the cars in front of him. I think we saw that, the two of them coming across the line very close together. Getting in touch with race control to ask them to have a look at it. We saw what? Well, Fox, I won't ask you to comment too much, but we saw some quite harsh penalties in qualifying last week that actually sent some people to pit lane starts. So yeah, a lot of the drivers will be hoping to avoid that this week.
There was a bit of tomfoolery to say during qualifying, so we were a bit harsher on that week than some of the previous weeks.
Yeah, I think it's good to see that as well. We don't want anybody messing around. Niels being away from the series for a couple of races, I think. I think he won in Long Beach, in fact, so just one race away. Couldn't make it last week in that pink Rexy car. I'm not sure if that car has a separate name. But
it does. The pink Rexy is actually Roxy.
There we go. Roxy then. Niels driving Roxy. Niels obviously commentated with us a couple of seasons ago, so wishing him all the best. Not seen, I don't think he's had a broadcasted race this season because he missed round 1 and round 3 and only competed in round 2. Competing in the AM class and winner, like I said, at Long Beach. But that race was not broadcasted. Comes across the line. He'll be hoping block back up in the higher AM places, and it puts him P17 at the moment. That's about P6 in AM, so he'll be hoping for a little bit more. Nicole Monti moves up to P13 there as well. Fog doesn't improve on that lap. That's a warning for car number 4. That's Bram Karan, I believe, for impeding. I think that'll be what Alex Ott was on the radio about.
Number 4 might have a different warning being issued, as there was a bit of contact as they were resetting. Good here.
Watching Ignis there, he comes across, and that was Sven Elmers and Matteo Lemire, I believe. So let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, Matteo getting loose on the exit and just comes across into Sven. I'm not sure who was on flyer there. We saw Ignis, we were on board when we saw that incident live. He said a purple sector 1, but it's a yellow sector 2, a 10th off what Alex Ott has done this lap in sector 2. So I wonder if he had to lift a little bit to avoid that incident. He'll have lost some time anyway, and in fact he's backed off here. Because we see one of the Spanglish Inquisition cars driving past. So Ignis backing off to go for one more flyer before the end of this session. We just hit 10 minutes, so I believe that's going to give us 1 minute left on this session, if I'm not mistaken. Ignis comes to the pit lane.
That should be 1 minute to go as the drivers are coming to the line here.
Oriol improving again as he comes around that final corner and rubs up against the wall of champions. 2 green, so you can only expect him to move forwards. couple of attempts between him and the car in front, and he can't move up the order, but he does solidify that P4 a little bit more. A lot of drivers showing greens at the moment. Goulet improving as well. Small gap to the car in front, so he can easily move himself up one position. He'll be wanting a little bit more than that, though, I'm sure. Don't know if you've got could grab a weather update for us, Adrian. I know it was, and Goulet spins as he comes through the fast chicane. Fortunately,
weather update. My measurements are unfortunately in imperial rather than the metric standard, so but it doesn't look like rain will be a factor at the start. We might have a little bit of there is a chance of rain throughout the entirety of the race, but we will see. But it's also very windy here.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw the forecast sort of toing and froing every time we got an update because of the level of wind that there is around the circuit. Could be on for a fully dry race or a damp race halfway through as well. One other possibility. See the LMP2 cars lining up in the pit lane. That's because it is checkered flag in GT3. There are one or two cars still out on track. Massimiliano Ligari is one of them. He comes through that final chicane in the Ford and really rides those curves. We've seen other cars not able to do that. No Lamborghinis in the session, but I know one of the stewards did a test drive in a Lamborghini and could not touch those curves at all. Ligari stays P8 or goes P8. In fact, no one else out on track to set a lap time, I believe. In fact, there's a couple of drivers still running around, but I can't see that they're actually going to set a lap time. It's car number 7. I'm just trying to find him. That's Luigi Nespolini is still running to the line. It's a purple final sector for Nespolini. Does that do anything? And it does. Moves him up onto the front row at the end of the session. Jesus Jimenez moves himself ahead of Sander de Boer right at the end as well there.
Little bit of a spinner by one of the LMPs coming out on those cold tires.
Incident for car 26 is under investigation. Is that spinner that you just mentioned?
Car 26, I'm not seeing.
Oh, no, it's Leon Van Ellerwatt who had a little spin on the outlap while he's running with his teammates. That's not what the under investigation was for, then it looks like. Okay, let's go back to live images. We're about to get the first couple of flying laps. Car 81 is going to be the first one to take the green flag in LMP2. Trying to work out who car number 81 actually is. Car number 8 is James Ebram. He's second in line. There's one of the DLR cars in front of him. So I think that's probably Albert Preem, despite the fact he's not showing up on my dashboard quite right. Just trying to work out who that is, in fact.
The 81, it is... Wait.
Christian Glamstetter, I think. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's a No Limits car. Apologies to everyone at No Limits. Might be getting some slightly upset messages, but Christian Glamstetter leads this pack. LMP2's running as we've seen them the last couple of weeks, actually, not really wanting much space between them. They're all sort of looking for a tow.
Oh, it looks like someone's in the wrong car for this race. The investigation is posted for wrong car selected, so they wouldn't be ineligible for points this round.
That's not what the driver will want to be hearing. We'll go to race control. Will I say it'll be no points this round? They will still be allowed to compete. Not much between the drivers out on track at the moment, apart from Sebastian van der Heuvel. He's a little bit further back and probably has the best tow of most of these guys as well. Seems to be the closest to the car in front. He set 2 purples on this lap, so we're still going to get that benchmark time from Christian Glamstetter, but it looks like Sebastian is going to jump that queue a little bit with those 2 purples unless someone else pulls something mega out of this final sector. That could be fuel load, though. He could be going for one less flyer in this run than some of the other cars. Benchmark time then is going to be a 1:29.966 by Christian Glamstetter. Simon Bamber, James Ebram slotting behind, but then Sebastian van der Heuvel goes and puts a second on them as we get a spinner coming out of the pit lane, I believe that was Casper Who. Let's take a look at what happened to him. And that's going to show us the complete wrong car. Here we go. Casper Who, just drops it as he gets off the limiter. Yeah, fortunately got out of the way before we saw any cars get there. So that lap from Sebastian is going to put him on provisional pole position in the LMP2 class, but we've seen people get massively quicker as the session goes on. Particularly, you can see Sebastian there weaving just to try and get some tyre time.
We have a purple sector 1.
That's
the number 8 of...
Yeah, James Ebram there. We've seen James be pretty quick. Unfortunately, I think he was fighting for the podium, if not for the lead at Laguna Seca, but then he got caught up in a bit of a multi-pass incident with the GT3 that was spun in front of him. Simon Bamber sets the purple sector 2 as well, so as the fuel wear comes off and the tyres come up to temperature, everyone else is fighting back towards Sebastian's time. He's not improving as well, so it looks like these guys may displace him.
He's backed off.
Yeah, James Ebram with a pretty slow sector 2, so I don't know if he got held up or made a mistake. And he's going to let Sebastian through as well before he starts his next fire lap. Christian Glamstetter sets a purple sector 3 to go back to the original pole and is beaten quite instantaneously by Simon Bamber to go 2 times clear of Glamstetter.
LMP2s are feeling very racy today.
Yeah, nice and close at the front as well, and I'm sure we'll get that when some of the other guys get their proper laps in. We'll give you a quick rundown as we've not got anybody due across the line after the 95 that's about to take through the line, and the 95 has done. I don't think they've set a lap time, so Simon Bamber is on provisional pole position at this sort of halfway point in this session. Christian Glamstetter is P2, Sebastian van der Heuvel in P3, Andy Jaeger P4, Ruben Stegemann P5, Leon Van Elort in P6, James Ebram P7, Pete Preens P8 and Melvin Gack in P9 as they run, but we'll be seeing a lot of improvements from these guys as the session goes on.
Oh, a correction for the number 26, they are in the right car and they are eligible for points. So one of the spreadsheets is out of date again.
Well, at least we work that one out before we go into the race. There was an incident there for Melvin Gack. Indeed there was. This is going to be his second spin of the session, I think, is it?
Yeah.
That's not ideal. He needs to tidy it up before he goes to the green flag, just so he can try and get a decent qualifying position as well, because he's definitely got more potential. And we've seen James Ebram with a mega lap to go a second clear of Simon Bamber at the front. Andy Jaeger's in this fight as well. He just set a purple sector 2, but it was only good enough for P3, so James Ebram really flying at the front there. Couple of improvements. Simon Bamber has gone green in sector 1. Sebastian van der Heuvel yellow in sector 1, so he's not going to go flying anywhere. Daniel Reneke yet to set a valid lap time, but he's coming through the final chicane against the wall of champions, and just that slightly long run to the line actually. We've got another lap time set. That's Liam de Kock, only P10 though, but that's his first lap. Daniel Reneke with his first lap goes P6 though. He'll be pretty happy with that as a banker. Christian Glamstetter improving once again. Purple in sector 2. Through the final chicane. Rides the curbs very aggressively. Gets a handful of oversteer. We see him make the adjustments. Get back on the road before the grass to avoid the off track. It's going to be to the line. And it's a yellow final sector. It's a little bit messy. But I tell you what, it's still good enough for P2. And within half a second of what Ebram did. And Bamber gets within a second of what Ebram did as well. Ruben goes P6. Simon Bamber pulls off the side of a road. That was just so he could reset to pit lane, it looks. Casper Who with a couple of green sectors. Not long to go now. Just get through the final chicane. You get a lap on the board. Is what he desperately needs at this point. Across the line for Casper Who, and It looks like that lap was invalid once again. Important to remember that technically in the regulations, he does need to set a lap time to be able to start the race, but race control can refer to practice session times if they want to, as he takes the escape route through turn 4, I believe. Sebastian looking to improve. It's a moment for James Ebram a couple of moments ago as well. We'll try and get a replay of that. That's 2-minute warning for LMP2. Sebastian across the line. Goes to P3. He'll be happier with that. This is what happened to current provisional pole sitter James Ebram on his most recent attempt. Ooh. It's a handful of oversteer and overcorrects at the apex.
So the wind is affecting some of the drivers, catching them out, offsetting their center of balance and making it a bit harder for them to turn in.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the LMP2s with the big shark fin they've got, is off the road once again for Casper Hu. This really isn't what he needs right now. Liam de Kock improving, currently sits last of the cars that have set a lap time, so he'd be hoping for an improvement. We saw Liam very, very quick in the GTP class on occasions last season out, so never count him out. What's it going to be as he comes to the line? It's a yellow final sector, but it's good enough for P6. That's a big improvement from Liam. And Liam, I believe, will be the last driver to be able to start another flyer, because he has effectively taken the checkered flag in their class, unless I'm mistaken.
The checkered is not.
He's got 1 more minute, hasn't he? Yeah. No one's setting flying sector times at the moment, I have to say. We've got a couple of greens mixed in with some yellows, but no one on sort of mega times.
Incremental gains.
Ruben's going to be next car across the line. Currently sits P10. And not an improvement for him, though. In fact, it was an improvement, but I don't think it was a valid lap because he's not moved up the order. Leon moves up a couple of spots to P7. That's checkered flag for LMP2. So Liam de Kock will be the first driver to take the checkered flag. Car 369, which is, I believe, Leon Van Ellewood will be the last driver, and bails off to the pits, does Liam. Daniel Reneke can still upset things a little bit, though. Currently sits P9, 1.8 seconds off the current provisional pole time. It's to a line for Daniel Reneke in the 101. Doesn't improve. 3 green sectors, moves up to P7. He'll be pretty pleased with that. Got 269 of Ruben still running along, and 369 of Leon Van Ellewood still running around. These are the only guys that can improve, both racing for Clogged Pipes Esports. GCP green flag from race control. It's going to be Ruben to the line first. See if he can improve. It's going to be unlikely with 2 yellows. But he could have found something mega in the final sector. And he has improved, but it's not going to move him up the order. What about Leon? What can he do? A green sector for the final sector as well. It does improve, but again, it's not going to move him up the order. Very, very close to the time, but Reneke ahead of him set. You know what I miss about last season when we had that 2-minute period in between the sessions? We used to get to sort of watch the hypercars anxiously waiting in the pit lane. As they used to do, queue up. We don't get that anymore. Davey van der Backer out on track. I don't know why he's tracking a sector time and no one else is. He's not the first car out there. Matthijs Weiten is. He's going to be the first car to set a flying lap, and he's not towing one of his teammates around behind him. I believe that's Alessandro Lelli behind him. Not sure if he's trying to let him pass actually, because they packed up quite a lot into hairpin. Doesn't look like it. I think that is Lelli behind in the Acura. A couple of changes in this class as well. Albert Pre took part in LMP2 up to this point in the season. Obviously, fought for the title in GTP last season. He's back in GTP this year. So into turn 1 for Matthias, and it looks like he's already bailed out of it. A little bit deep on the brakes. It looked perhaps Lely then is going to be the car that we're going to watch. Let's go on board as well as he rides through, and I'll tell you what, Matthias has tucked in nicely behind him. Bit off camber here makes it quite difficult to get it through. It's going to be really tricky through there, especially if it rains. That's a DRS board. Obviously no DRS in these cars, and Lely's going to start weaving for the tyre temperature, so I think nobody quite ready so far on this lap. Alvaro Gutierrez was the quickest so far through sector 1. But as we said with the LMP2s, and I'm sure you can confirm this, Adrian, there's a big improvement on the GTPs when it comes to the tyres on the sort of second and third laps.
Yes, very much so. That on the second and third lap, the tires come alive way more, and the times come in way faster.
Okay, Lely then down the back straight into the final chicane. Rides the curves quite a lot for an Acura, actually. Across, well, past the wall of champions. It's going to be across the line about now. Lely's going to set the benchmark time, and it is a 1:25.784. Let's see if anyone can beat it. Matthias can't. Alvaro can. Alvaro goes to the top and is then beaten once again by Davide Favaro. Absolutely flying in the other Acura. Panto Avale goes to P2. Very close at the front, just over half a second separate the, just under half a second, sorry, separate the top 4 as they run, and Gutierrez in P3, just over 2 temps clear pole position. Lely though sets a purple sector 1 on his latest flying lap. Flies over the curb. Don't count out Matthias. I know some of these guys are a little way off, but that's because they just had a sort of banker last lap to get some tyre temperature in. Maybe didn't have the hybrid turned on when some of the other cars did as well. Down the back stretch, and a little bit more spaced out than we saw the LMP2s. Actually, we've got a moment for, I think that's Albert Preem, who's had a bit of a spin. We'll go and take a look at whatever happened there in just a moment. Let's see what Lely can do across the line. And it's a 1:22.379 to move to 8 temps clear of Davide. Gutierrez gets within half a second. Davide gets back within 3 tenths of a second, but not the provisional pole that he was on before. Doing well for the Acuras right now. Preem with a purple sector 2, but obviously we saw that mistake from him. Just trying to find that now on the tracker so that we can put it up. It's not showing on one of them, so we're going to have to pull it up on the other one. Oh, just gets on the grass a little bit there and loses the back end. That's very unfortunate. Tell you who's flying right now. It's Alessandro Lely. Once again, really rapid on this lap. He's got 2 purple sectors. Down the back stretch into the chicane. What can Lely do to extend that gap out front? We've seen this from him before. He's been absolutely rapid in qualifying. 7 temps clear at the front, a 1:21.949. For those of you that weren't with us last week, Adrian, do you want to fill them in on what happened last week when Lely was on provisional pole position?
You know what? I honestly do not recall what. Oh, wait, was he the one that stalled?
He was the one that, did not take the start, was on the grid and couldn't get moving for some. I think he had some sort of technical issue. So despite the fact that it maybe looks a little bit bleak with the pace that he's displaying. It's definitely not over yet. Davide Favara in the other, I believe these guys both race for Aston if they do, in the other Acura. Currently sits P2, but Acura is looking really, really quick around it.
Did we ever find out what was Lele's issue that prevented him from the start, or?
I don't believe I did, but I remember after last week's race there were about 100 messages an hour popping up in the IMSA Series Season 8 chat, so I didn't quite read through every single one. Is anybody that does know?
Go on. Someone had it off.
Is that Albert again? I think it was. Here we go. Whoa.
It's a big off right there. Jeez.
Yeah, flying and just rides a curb with the rear wheels and loses even more grip. I'm kind of hoping that the network issues are on Albert's side as well, because no one else seems to be dropping their connection right now. Lely doesn't go quicker. Favaro does. Now just attempts to separate the two. Jean-Paul Seaman, though, goes to P2 in the DLR Acura, so they'll be happy with that. Less than half a tenth separating the front row right now. So maybe not looking as bleak.
Tires are biting. We're getting into these 121s.
Yeah, that's just what everyone wanted to see. A little bit closer at the front than we had in last week's qualifying session. A nice healthy hypercar field today as well. 13 cars on track. Matthias Weiten, the only Cadillac, is 9 tenths off the pace at the moment. That's not where he's used to being. Vincent van der Moelenbroek, P12, struggled to get a lap time in, I think, at first. Carlos Ponce down in P13. The Ferrari's really not very happy on the track today.
I've had seen Ponce having a few issues with control, and I don't know if it's the Ferrari not playing nice with the track or the wind not playing nice with the Ferrari.
Yeah, I know everyone should have been sort of testing in fairly similar conditions to this, but it's always hard to know exactly what the wind's going to be doing. I believe there's a bit of an in-game time jump between now and the race as well, so the rain is going to get a little bit closer. Still, we don't know when it's going to hit or even how hard it's going to hit if it does. No one setting mega sector times at the moment. I think everyone's maybe in recharge mode on the hybrids just to try and get a little bit more power in.
Jeffrey Ross had a bit of a snap into, what turn is that? 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think it's turn 3 and 4, isn't it? Yeah, gets loose and tags the wall, keeps it pointing in the right direction, but it's obviously going to be quality over for him because he's not going to be able to make it back out in time now. No one's really lighting the timing board up. We've got David van der Vacker has just had a moment as well, I think. Miss that one, let's take a look. Oh, same corner. Gets all over the curbs and just washes out into the wall. Going to be session over for him as well. Sat P4 at the moment, was probably hoping to move up the order a little bit more, but that's not going to be possible. Gutierrez improving. Got 1 yellow but 1 green sector as well. Panto Avale improving as well. He's got 2 greens right now. What can Gutierrez do? It's P8. No, it's not. It's P8 to P5. The timing board lags behind a little bit. Edson Koikev, no improvement for him. Carlos Ponce is an improvement but stays P13 right now. Panto Avale P6. He'll be pretty happy with that one. Says Viton P5, he'll be happy with that. Places ahead of all of the Ferraris. It won't be quite where he wants to be, but given how the session's gone so far, he'll probably take that. Jean-Paul Siemens in the pits, David van der Vacker's in the pits. That's checkered flag. Favaro is the only one that can challenge Lely, and I tell you what, I'm going to have to apologise because Ferrari's livery is updated, and it's not it's not the livery I thought he was running, but comes across the line now with that purple sector. He's definitely got a chance at pole position here. No improvements from Lely so far this lap as well, so it's going to be over for Lely. And Favaro goes to pole position with a 1:21.818. Did not see that coming.
Where's he pulled that from?
That was mega pace at the end of the session.
A green sector 1, a purple sector 2, but then a yellow sector 3. He could get on way faster.
Yeah, that's very impressive, and it's not by a small margin as well. Over a 10th clear of Lely, so that's going to put those two drivers on pole position. Two feisty drivers as well, so let's see what they can put on display for us. Koikoven improves.
It
Go
will
ahead, Adrian.
be a very entertaining first lap to say.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot go on as well. Lely's still driving around, but it's session over for him, and he pulls off the road, and that is it. Got a couple of cars sat in the pit lane, which are going to mean that we are sitting around unless they all click ready to race. Yeah, Davide Favaro did not see that one coming. He was quick, but it didn't look like anyone had anything on Lely with the way he was setting lap time after lap time.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh God.
We are going to be able to show you the results in just one moment.
There we are.
Just waiting for that clock to hit 0 in 2 seconds. We should have results that we can show you. There we go. Let's take a look at the GT3 qualifying results. These will set the grid. There's no penalties that we are aware of. So Ignas Vincereskis is on pole position. Luigi Nespolini got close at the end, but it wasn't enough to take P1 away from Ignas. So Luigi Nespolini will start on the front row. Alex Ott in P3. Daniel Moore, P4, Oriol Falk, P5, Matteo Ubertali, P6, Adam Jarvis, P7, Massimiliano Legeri, P8, Michael Kellenberger, P9, Ivan Ubera in P10. I'm going to click along to the next page because this GT3 field is just so huge at the moment. Sven Elmers in P11, Seda Botkov in P12, Noor Zaghani in P13, Nicoli Monti P14, Mick Cyan in P15, Ferran Balon in P16, Niels Uleman P17, Timon Scholten in P18, Anthony Caranta P19, Mateo Lemray P20, and we've got a few more to you. Jesus Jimenez P21, Sander de Boer P22, in 23rd position was Brian Cran, and in 24th position was Quinton Bossi Sibo. Now, you're allowed to say no, Adrian, but do you want to take us through the LMP2 qualifying results?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then.
I'm not butchering any of those names.
James Evram finished in P1 with a 127.574. Christian Glamster P2 for No Limits Sim Racing. Sebastian van den Heuvel in P13. Sorry, the graphics breaking there. Simon Ban with P4. Andy Jaeger P5. Liam de Kock P6, Daniel Reneke P7, Leon Van Elowat P8, P. Preens P9, Ruben Stegemann P10, and we've got a couple more. Melvin Gack P11, Casper Hu P12, and then let's take a quick look at the GTPs. We did only just see them. There's no harm in having a quick look. Davide Favaro, that impressive final lap to go to pole position for 07 Racing. Alessandro Lely for Absolute Motorsport. Asalif in P2, Jean-Paul Seaman P3, Davy van der Vacker P4, Matthias Veit in P5, Alvaro Gutierrez P6, Juan Avale in P7, Etten Koikoven in P8, Jeffrey Ross P9.
We asked the class leader to leave a gap of 10 to 15 seconds towards the class ahead. Also, remember to activate your pit speed limiter out of the last chicane as the front row of every class, so everyone can catch up until you are reaching the start zone. And also remember, green flag doesn't start the race. The leader of every class has control over the field and can start everywhere within the start zone. Thank you, have fun, and have a safe race.
Okay, there you go. That was Amy, race director for this week, just coming on. We like to not interrupt him, although I think Andy normally tries to take the mick a little bit and speak for as long as he can. I can't quite remember where we got up to, but Albert Preem is in P10, and that actually puts the top 10 all within a second of each other, so we are on for a mega race. Quinten Verdonk P11, Vincent van der Meulenbroeke P12, and Carlos Ponce P13. I don't know if somebody, either from Race Control or Adrian, if you could have a quick look what the weather is saying it's going to do now in terms of percentage rain as we go to the start of the race.
The percentage of rain has actually decreased a significant amount. I'm not... I'm doubtful we'll see any type of rain, any type of liquids other than from the cars.
That's kind of what we want to see, to be honest. We'll get a nice dry run at it. Maybe a couple of spots at the end of the race, but like I say, seems unlikely now.
Yeah, it's all mostly 1-digit percent, 10-11% towards the end of the race, so very unlikely we'll see any rain. But who knows? 10% still it's not zero.
Yeah, so straight fight, gonna make it very interesting, especially people have... I know there was a couple of posters thrown up this week. I jumped in a couple of them myself, and most of them, if not all of them, were in the rain. So a lot of people have done a lot of rain practice because that original forecast was showing nearly 90% rain at certain points in the session. So this might be a bit of unexplored territory for a lot of the drivers. We've seen a couple of black flags pop up, but that's just because it's warm up and people are speeding in the pit lane, etc. So yeah, nothing will come of that.
Yeah, those are going to be from iRacing for speeding or pit exit or pit entry, and they're not going to be from our race control.
Okay, we're getting ready to go green here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Just trying to look at where the cars are placed on track. They're about halfway around the track.
Yeah, they're going to be after 9 on that sweeping turn into 10. So it's going to be a very short pace lap here.
Yeah, it was good though. Green quickly. That's what we like to see. Yeah, we had to wait a whole lap last time, but it was probably quite good given that the pole sitter did not get away and everyone was a little bit confused about what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. Pacing last week was it was something to say.
Yeah, I think we're going to avoid that today. Hopefully, I notice Lely is not on pole. I know it's briefly showing him there, but that's because the drivers are now able to move a little bit. So front row, Davide Favaro is going to control the GTP field as they go to green. James Ebram is going to control the LMP2 field, and Ferran Baylon is going to control Ignas Vincereskis is going to control the GT3 field. They're just a little bit mixed up on where they are at the moment. A couple of alterations for this week as well. Race Control have asked that the gap between the classes is going to be narrowed down to between 10 and 15 seconds. That's kind of to help with what we had last week, where we sort of had one lap of green running and then hit the traffic chaos, and it didn't give everyone a chance to settle down a little bit more in the lower classes before the GTPs came and caused chaos. Race Control have also asked the leaders in each field to leave their pit limiter on, both cars on the front row, as they come through the final corner. And then they will turn that off once everyone is packed up. Got one car hanging back a little bit. I believe that's Carlos Ponce. Van der Meulenbroeke not on the grid, so I believe he's maybe going to take a pit lane start, unless I'm mistaken. Davide Favaro, though, getting ready to go green. He's holding them a long time. And they've got to go by the time they get to that Napa Auto Parts line, and he does. Jumps away nicely. He's got away very nicely. Built a nice gap. Lely's actually fighting with Jean-Paul Seaman, who slots through into second place. He'll be very happy with the way that's gone for him. LMP2 are still a little bit away from taking the green flag, so we're going to follow this battle on its way down into turn 3 and turn 4. Side by side towards the back of the pack. No one taken to the escape road. Looks like everyone's made it through quite nicely. Very impressed to see that. Let's take a look. Sebastian van der Heuvel round at the start of the LMP2 field. Not sure what's caused that. We'll try and take a look and see what happened. Got a bunch of 4Xs in the LMP2 field. James Ebram goes to the green now, and that's Sebastian has caught up a little bit at the back and will hopefully have caught up mostly by turn 1. That's going to be put under investigation by race control. James Ebram now.
Start with the that will be with the LMPs, the P2s. Oh, oh dear.
Ignas Vincerevsky's getting ready to go green. He goes through turn 1 in the lead. We've got a bit of smoke ahead. I don't know if there's some more LMP2 action. It looks like there almost certainly was. Ignas is going to lead nicely though in this class. We've got a lot of action in this GT3 field as we usually do. There's a little bit of side by side there. That's Ignas's teammate, I believe. He's going to get past the other Acura in the field, the black Acura. Alright, sorry about the connection issues, everyone. Trying to sort that out. It looks like it's better if we just close that one software, so we're going to do that, and we'll try and keep you updated on what's going on as best we can. Let's try and take a look at what happened to Sebastian on the start if we can. I'm just trying to find it. It's not showing up on my...
8 P2s all under investigation for 2 separate incidences. Oh dear.
Davide Favaro still leads in GTP. He's 1.5 seconds clear of Jean-Paul Siemens, who's pulling away nicely. Lely getting held up a little bit there. That's not what he'll want to see right now. A lot of stuff under investigation now in GT3 as well. We're trying to find all this. There's just an awful lot of overtaking going on the track. Kind of clogging up the race control channels. Davide Favaro already on the back of the GT3s. I think these are the guys that maybe didn't make it so great off the start, and in fact it's not, it's the whole field, so this is going to really shake things up in GTP. Already on the back of the LMP of the GT3s, they've not had much time to breathe at all. Monty coming on the radio. I know we've got Ferran Baylon showing a lap ahead of some of the GT3s. That's just a timing error. We've had this before. That should rectify itself shortly. Ignas Vincerevsky is leading in GT3, not Ferran. I'm not sure why he's showing so far ahead of everyone. More incidents under investigation. We're going to try and find these for you as quickly as we can.
It's going to be a multi-class. That's going to be a multi-class incident. Yeah, I'm seeing AM drivers. Those are GT drivers alongside with GTP drivers.
I thought this is what happened to Sebastian, but that's not lap 1 where we were looking. I'm going to go back to green. It's like most of the GT3s have made it through, trying to work out, like you say, what happened.
Before that happened.
Okay, I think this is what happened in the LMP2 field before we went green. In fact, we've already got one car missing the front nose off it a little bit further back. Not sure how that happened.
That might be a graphical thing with the replay. Or, no, that might...
Not sure. Let's take a look. Apologies that it's done that a couple of times, just trying to find the best angle for us. Watch Sebastian, he's the car that we saw sideways. Oh, and he got tagged by... Oh, that's very bizarre. That's why that's under investigation. This is what happened to Daniel Reneke as well in turn 1. Looks like there's been some more action in the LMP2 field. We thought there had been.
Almost immediately as well. This is still... This is right after they take the green.
Oh, and there is contact there. And most people are going to get through all right, which is good to see. Davy van der Vacker as well had a moment. Not sure what happened here. Is this Lely going to get back past? I'm not sure we saw this. Oh no, Davy van der Vacker currently sat behind and he spins as he comes across with the wall of champions. He's driving backwards and drives into the wall, but avoids most of the cars on track. Jesus Jimenez has had a moment as well. There's all sorts going on here as he comes back on the road from an incident that is not showing up for us. Here we go, Jesus. Oh, and he's going to get caught up with the GTP after this, I think. Oh, and that's 3 into 1 doesn't work in GT3. And that's what's caused those issues. Sven Elmers has also had a moment. There's all sorts going on here.
Wait, was that Matteo? Was that Matteo trying to go 3 wide?
It was indeed Matteo in that 3 wide incident. This is Sven Elmers showing a crashed log on... Oh, that's very unfortunate. Tagged in the back by, I believe that's Noor Zaghani. Try and see if we can find out what happened there, but he's got damage on that car and he's going to try and get it back to the pit lane.
I do find the Matteo incident very humorous because he did say earlier that he was going to attempt 3 wide.
Albert Preem's had a moment as well here. Not sure what this is going to be. Into the fast chicane where we saw a couple of people have moments in qualifying and it over rotates on the exit. That's what happened to Quinton Bossy as well, and I think we're going to get some GTP on GT3 violence, aren't we? There's Vossi in the Ferrari there, and yeah, has contact. No. Looks like he kind of left the door open, and all sorts of chaos behind.
Oh, God. Oh my gosh.
That's not what we needed. Let's take a look from another angle. This is Quinton, the donk. So he comes in and fires the cars all sideways, and there's nothing Quinton could do that.
Yeah.
Another moment for Bossy as he tries to make his way back to the pit lane, it looks. Trying to just catch up to live as quickly as we can. Mateo's being off as well. Oh! That'll go to race control as well. And Carlos Ponce, the other driver of it, has had a small moment. That was not so small. It's a 10-second time penalty for Niels Uleman. Not quite sure what that incident is actually for.
I do not believe we have seen that incident yet.
It's not showing up on my tracker right now. Not sure, I can't find that one. I'm searching for it now. Nothing showing up in my log right now. Ule currently runs P2, that's a 10-second time penalty. He's only a couple of seconds ahead of the car behind, so he'll need more improvement. Let's put the intervals up there instead, and we're going to just change some things a little bit so that we can get more cars for each class shown on the screen. Davide Favaro still leads 4 seconds out in front of Jean-Paul Seaman. Now Lely will be ruining that bad start he had that allows Seaman to go around the outside in turn 1. We've got some good action in the LMP2 field though. That's Ruben Stegemann, fractions of a second behind. Fractions of a second behind Simon Bamber, apologies. Michael Kalmberger sets a new purple lap in GT3 AM. Pulling away in that class. Sebastian up to P5 as well after that spin on with that contact on turn 1. Not sure if we've had confirmation from race control what that incident was.
I've had a quick glance at it, and I don't see what would be warranted of a penalty. I'm not questioning race control. They're obviously looking at it more in depth than we are.
We've got an awful lot to look at as well. There's just more and more stuff popping up.
Oh God, there's some more.
Ruben shaking up for a move to move up to P2 so we can try and chase down James Ebram, but it's not going his way now. Looks like Simon is a little bit of a cork in a bottle here. There's the whole field are packing up behind him. Trying to work out LMP2 as well is getting pretty close to the tail end of GT3 as the front end of GTP has now caught the back of LMP2. So it's all about to get a little bit chaotic once again. Ruben looking for a move here, but he's not had a good enough run out the hairpin to make an aggressive move really work. Nothing working for Ruben yet. Alvaro looking for a move as well as they come through the LMP2 traffic in the GTPs. He's trying to get past Ayrton ahead.
They're going to catch the GT3s relatively soon here, so we expect the traffic to be a big factor here. Massive factor even. Oh god.
Ruben right on the back here now as we've got that's Davide Favaro making his way through now on the LMP2 class, and that's not going to help Ruben because he slots in between the two LMP2s, and that pushes Liam de Kock right onto the back of Ruben as the GTPs are trying to find somewhere to go. Ruben's able to get back on the racing line, but that's going to give Liam de Kock the line down the inside, but he's boxed in by the GT3 as Ruben follows the GTP around the outside. Everyone's made it through. It didn't look like that was going to be the outcome at one point. That's given a big chunk of breathing room to Simon Bambo. We've got headlight flashes behind from Liam de Kock. He's not happy with the way they presented that. That's Sebastian van der Heuvel trying to make his way past Liam de Kock. He's found the inside line. He's alongside, down under braking, gets past Liam de Kock to move up to P4 on that recovery drive that he's so adamant he wants to do. Moves to the inside to defend. One move, we'll see how race control for you that. I think he's probably going to be all right with it. It wasn't reactive. He knew what he was doing. That's a time penalty for Sven Elmers. Car number 316 for blocking. Not sure what that one is either. Going to try and find that for you. I am now connected to race control. I wonder if that's this incident here. No, it's not. That's a different one. That's still under investigation. Sven Elmers under investigation for an awful lot right now. Let's go back to live images. Sven Elmers is just trying to make his way around the track with what looks like a heavily damaged Acura, and he has had another moment. Let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, gets onto the back of the GT3 in front. Doesn't look like he got caught up with the GTP, which was surprising when we saw what was going on. John Paul Seaman round on the exit of turn 3. Trying to find a way back on track, but that's going to be really difficult from where he is. Gutierrez not happy with something. I think that's probably the same incident. Not sure what caused all of that chaos. Favaro still leads over. That puts Lely back in P2. He's going to be on the charge to catch up with Favaro. And Sebastian van der Heuvel has gotten past Ruben Stegemann. We've missed that. He's passed his teammate to move up the order. See if we can find the replay. Let's take a look at how Sebastian got past his teammate to move into P3 as he's on the recovery charge. He's just got a good exit. I think the traffic's maybe helped him a little bit here. They rub wheels, do the teammates, into the fast chicane where we've seen so many incidents, and that's where the spinning car was in front. It wasn't turn 3, but everyone else made it through fairly cleanly.
Just missed a bit of 3 wide action down on the front stretch with the GTPs, and oh dear. So
everyone is just trying to survive right now, but it's not easy at all. Ignis still leads in GT3. He's doing well to build a gap, but not as well as Michael Kellenberger is. Michael Kellenberger getting himself mixed up with the pro cars, which the others aren't able to do, and that's why Niels is nearly 7.5 seconds behind Kellenberger right now. GTPs and LMP2s, it's everybody on one bit of tarmac here, and GT3. This is Alvaro making his way past the first of the podium sitters in LMP2. So we're going to be through the LMP2 traffic shortly, but there's still a lot of GT3s for these hypercars and LMP2s to make their way through. Favaro still leading quite nicely though, but it's getting heated up a little bit here. This is Alvaro Gutierrez, Jeffrey Ross, and also Ayrton Kooijkoven going at it. Got Alvaro in the middle. Sorry, Alvaro at the back. Jeffrey Ross is very close to Ayrton. See if he's shaping up for a move, but the traffic is going to dictate when anyone can go for anything right now. And Simon Bamber 9 seconds behind James Ebram now. James Ebram working it beautifully through the traffic. It's a 5-second time penalty for Ayrton Kooijkoven for forcing another car off the track. Try and find you a replay of that one for race control. Ayrton Kooijkoven in the GTP class. Trying to see. That's not showing up despite the fact I am connected to Amy. Here we go. It's because it was down as a 0x. See what happens here. Ayrton in the pink and blue car, I believe. Not sure what's going to happen here. And it's unclear, I think. Not sure what happened there. The 0x is probably given a while after the incident, actually, which is why we can't see it. Adrian, an awful lot going on. What's it like to be in race control when it's this busy?
Do you know the gif of SpongeBob when his head's on fire? It is essentially that, when so many things are going on and you only have so many eyes on race control at a time, because we like to have someone monitoring live feed at all times. That way we can see if there is a quick incident we can get through, and then if we really need to, then we will take away that live feed and have another screen to look at. It's a lot of divide and conquer down in race control, so getting through these incidences as quick as possible is crucial. We want to be fast, but we also want to be right and fair.
Yeah, really, really difficult for race control, especially when there's so much going on, an awful lot to catch up on quite consistently. Less incidents than the last race, says Andy from race control. Thinks they're up to speed somehow, but as he says that, another incident goes under investigation. That was with Sander Boer and Anthony Caranta.
Oh,
let's take a look at what happened there. Sander Boer going to try and get down the inside of the damaged car of Anthony, and they bump on the way in to the chicane. Caranta comes out ahead, but then the drive off a corner for Sander de Boer, and I believe he's going to get that position. No, he's not, because Caranta just pulls away under power. That's pretty good straight line speed from the Audi there.
Just a bit of a bumper rub that shouldn't be like that too harshly there.
GTP's making their way through the GT3 traffic for the second time already this race. Daniel Morphy all over the back of Oriol Folk here. Traffic may play into certain drivers' hands here, because Oriol himself is now right on the back of Alex Ott in front for the podium in GT3 Pro. It's 3 wide, LMP2, GTP, GT3 not for long. So GT3 makes his way past Oriol Folk as well. Oh, wide out final corner for Lely, but he gathers it up. That's not Lely. That is... gosh, there's too many GTPs in inaccurate right now for anyone to know what is truly going on. I tell you who's done a mega job though. Matthias Weissen, we're not seeing how he's ended up here. We're going to try and find some of his overtakes for you because he's ended up in P3 after pretty shocking qualifying by his standards.
And he's on a bit of an island. Not a lot of traffic behind or ahead of him, if I'm reading that right.
Yeah, the only problem is the race control software is, I think he's just made advantage of people having moments ahead of him. Race control software is currently showing loads of overtakes on GT3s because it got all confused about where everyone started. That's not the race control software, that's the broadcasting software that we use. Favaro through the pits then, and we've got a big crash in GTP. What's happened here?
Immediately under investigation by race control as well.
Oh, is he going to go into the back of him? Surely he is now.
No?
Oh, big lockup.
Oh.
Big lockup for the number 6. That's Davy van der Bakke who had that big moment there. He's going to try and drive it back. All sorts of people caught up in that one. That's straight under investigation by race control and everyone to the pits. Fortunately for Davy, he is within the pit window, and anyone that got damaged, they will be within their pit window to go to the pit lane now. James Ebram's clearly within his pit window because he's just set a purple lap in LMP2, so he's clearly burning down the fuel as he leads by 11 seconds now. Mega driving from him, but that GTP incident, we're going to take another look at it here from Jean-Paul Siemens' view. In fact,
I want to see, does he just lock up the rears here? He's kind of goes in and
I thought for sure it was going to be these two messing around on the straight, but no, it's almost like he locks up the front and then locks up the rear afterwards.
That's a bit of a weird incident. How you just lock he locks it up in a weird way because he's almost sideways.
He's on board with Davy van der Bakke as that incident happened. Not sure if his lock-up lights are going to flash on. We're going to... Oh, I think he just got caught out by the GT3 a little bit. Wasn't expecting to have to slow down quite that much.
Just it seems like a bit of a scare and overcorrection. That's unfortunate.
This was Avale getting past Casper Hu, but it's not a proper overtake because he's just getting back past the traffic. Edson Koikhoven did pass Alvaro Gutierrez. That's because he went straight on into the pits and was momentarily ahead. So that puts Matthias Weissen out in the lead now, but that's because Lely and Favaro have both pitted. And I'll tell you right now, Alessandro Lely going pretty quick. He's closed that gap to 3 seconds. It's been a lot more in this race. Ruben right on the back of his teammate Sebastian as well. These two, the gap to Simon's been pretty consistent. The gap to James is obviously still growing quite significantly. Daniel Reneke really close to Pete Preens. And I'll tell you what, they're not anymore because they've got a GT3 in the middle of them.
Traffic giveth, traffic taketh.
The ever-lasting battle in endurance racing, in multi-class racing in particular, sprint sessions as well. Everyone gets a little bit angsty, a little bit desperate, don't have the patience that you need. We've got all 3 classes on the same bit of tarmac again. It's inevitable with the size of this field. Albert Preem to the pits, as is Matthias Weissen and Alvaro Gutierrez, so no one in GTP trying to make it to the halfway point. The LMP2 is still going though, as James Ebram goes for yet another lap, so he's not considering pitting yet. In fact, none of the LMP2s have been in the pit lane just yet.
And I'm pitting.
That's Massimiliano Legari telling the cars around him that he's coming into the pit lane. Give you a quick penalty update. Matthias Weissen has a 20-second time penalty. Didn't see that one. That was on lap 3. Let's see if we can get a replay of it. Oh, and that's for that incident into the back of the GT3, I think. Try and get you an angle that's actually going to show us what happened. Here we go. Yeah. So Matthias Veitin is running P3 right now, but he's got a 20-second penalty. He needs to be very wary of that. Oh, got a car off in the background, I think. Oh no, he's made it round. It's just the angle that we had on the cameras. GT3, we've not had a look at much GT3 action here, but Oriol Folk is right on the back of Ignis. In fact, that's not Ignis. I keep getting tricked. Ignis has a teammate in the series now. That's Ivan Ubera that he's right on the back of. 3 attempts separate these two. All having made one pit stop now, bar Adam Jarvis, who is going for that fuel-saving strategy. We've seen him do so many times. That's why he's in the lead now. He did it last week, as did his entire team. I think they came away with some pretty handy results because of it as well.
Liam de Kock is under investigation for something, I see.
Yeah, we've got a 0x showing. Don't know if race control can clarify that one for us. 0x, for those of you who aren't aware, is something that you can do in iRace Control, that's stewarding software, which allows you to tag a driver and put them under investigation for something that isn't flagged by iRacing itself.
Oh, that's not a drive-through.
That's an unsafe pit entry. So let's take a look at his... Oh, and
yeah.
We cut to it a little bit late, but it looked to me like he had contact with the GTP on pit entry.
That is very... oh, gosh. Looked like he tried to go around the traffic to get into pit lane faster and made contact with a car that wasn't intending to go into pit lane. Yeah,
that's not what he would have wanted. Simon Bamber's now going to pit from the what became the lead of LMP2 as we looked at that incident. Sebastian van der Hubel is now behind his teammate, Ruben, who had a shorter stop by about 0.7 of a second, which is how he was able to jump his teammate. Leon to the pits as well. Simon Bamber's going to be the interesting one. James Ebrams going to come out a long way ahead, but where's he going to come out relative to Ruben and Sebastian? Liam de Kock has got that drive-through penalty. He's going to have to serve that soon. Ivan Ubera with a slowdown, and that's going to allow Oriol Folk through. As Ubera tries his best to stay out of the way, but parking on the apex is not going to please race control when you're trying to serve a slowdown.
Hey Andy, isn't that drive-through a little bit harsh, man? Nothing happened to go to 0x, man.
Liam de Kock not very happy with the...
No, because you were specifically instructed. Like, it could not have been more clear that you were not to do that. And in the briefing note, there's this very clear indication of the area.
This is side by side with Ayrton Koykoven and Albert Preem as they go into the final chicane. Andy from Race Control negotiating one of the drivers as to explain his drive-through penalty. Oh, and he gets ahead, but he rides all over the curbs. It's going to be a rubbish exit for Albert Preem ahead, and that's going to give Ayrton a chance to fight back. Oh, I love this section of corners. Ayrton's going to come out ahead, it looks like.
Okay, can he keep it going down into the...
and Albert's going to go down the inside.
Oh.
Albert Preem in the green DLR Ferrari with a mega switch back there to get a run out of turn 2 and then dive down the inside of turn 3. That gives him P6 in class as they run.
Love to see. That is wonderful racing. Oh, that is good racing you love to see.
That's what we came for. The GT3 field is as close as ever. Alex Ott's dropped off the back of this battle a little bit, but are they 3 wide? Nearly 3 wide into the chicane. This is what we came for. The hairpin, sorry, yeah. Oh, there's too much going on here. Daniel Morphy still side by side with Ivan Ubera. That's Oriol Folk that's gotten past these guys.
Who's gonna be the late? Who's gonna get on their brakes later? Who's gonna make this move stick?
Morphy does a good job of Arle coming on the radio to say he's pitting in. Liam de Kock has cleared his black flag. That's because he's done a drive through. It's not actually dropped him down a position because you do cut out the final chicane and you do cut out turn 1 and 2 here. So the pit stop penalty is really not that harsh. He's lost a bunch of time, about 10 seconds, but he's not done too badly, all things considered. Carlos Ponce moves up to P12, but that's because Avale has finally made that pit stop. Carlos Ponce still not made the pit stop though, at least according to my tracker. I don't know if it's saying the same for you. In fact, should we throw up pit stops on the screen momentarily?
There's a bit of an incident. Is that multi-class?
Whoa. Let's take a look. Christian Glamstetter, Bramkran, Sander Bauer. So this is going to be multi-class. Glamstetter coming out of the chicane. And this is a rubbish angle, iRacing. Down to the hairpin. Whoa! Oh, and they catch the LMP2. It was multi-class, but not in the way we expected. Christian Glamstetter looks to have mainly gotten away with it from a damage point of view. No, he's not. He's got a meatball. Wow. I think the right rear suspension must be bent then.
It's going to be... Oh, is he crabbing a bit?
Yeah, I think he is. Look, the right rear is quite drastically bent out of shape, it looks like.
Yeah, when we think of GT on prototype incidences, this is not the kind of incidences we expect out of it.
Niels Ullmann still not the distance that he needs from Senna Bockhoven to keep that position, given he's got that 10-second time penalty. That would currently drop him down quite a way. So he'll be hoping to do a little bit better than that. Still, these three GT3s, you cannot separate them apart from when a GTP or an LMP2 gets in between them. But Ivan Ubera, Alex Ott behind, and Daniel Morphy sticking to each other like glue. Etten Koikkoven as well, looking to get a little bit closer to Albert Preem. Was under a second earlier this lap, so the traffic is just swinging it back and forth. Not sure if that Ferrari is directly behind him, but I think they're a lap down. Unless they're just not showing properly for us.
I think that was Daniel. Let's splash for a second.
I think that's Quinton, isn't it? Yeah, Quinton a lap down.
Yeah.
Fortunately. Daniel Morphy keeps getting very, very close to Oriel, but he's not had a real chance to make a move yet.
Well, there is a phrase in the oval racing community where that is, it's one thing to catch, another to pass. So being able to catch up to the car, keep pace with the car is one art, while going for a pass is going to be a completely different art.
Yeah, very, very easy to get up to the back of someone. As Martin Brundle says, catching is one thing, but passing is another. Daniel Renekt looking for a move. And I tell you what, he's going to get the move on Casper Hu. Going to try and go around the outside at the hairpin. It's going to give Casper...
Penalty for the number 6.
Yeah, what's that for?
Causing 20-second time penalty for causing a collision.
I'm going to take a look. Here we go. Ah, that's this one that we saw under the brakes. That's a fair enough penalty. So James Ebram and Simon Bamber have done some absolutely mega driving today. James Ebram, even more so, 16 seconds clear of Simon Bamber in an incredibly tight field. And Simon Bamber is another 9 seconds clear of Sebastian and Ruben. it's not over at the front of the field. Lely is still very, very close to Bavaro. Neither of them can let off just yet. 25 minutes to go in this race still. A lot can happen. We've got another round of pit stops as well.
Is Bones has still not come in for his pits? Oh, no.
I think he has. It's just not showing properly on iRace control. I agree. Don't know why it's showing that. But if you look on the tracker, it does actually show him leaving the pits. It just doesn't show him entering the pits. I wonder if... he had a meatball, so he had to tow. I think is that maybe why? Showing him going to not in world for me, so I wonder if that's what's happened there.
That's probably what would do it.
Daniel Morphy, the closest he's been into the hairpin, but pretty hard to overtake in the GT3 field. He seems to have pretty good straight line speed in that BMW though. So let's see if he can do anything into the final chicane. It'd be a bit of a lunge, but we've seen others do it.
It wouldn't be the most outrageous lunge we've seen before.
It's better of it. Tell you what, it's going to be a fight. This is Senna Bokhoven on Niels Uleman, because Niels has got caught up behind that Ferrari. I believe that might be Matteo. And that's packed him up a little bit, pushed him back into that class. As the LMP2 is going to get in the middle of them as well.
What happened in chicane? LMP2 just turned in.
Mateus Vuyten questioning what just happened in the chicane. LMP2 just turned in, he says. Not got that on our incident log.
I don't see that unless they didn't make contact, or he might be complaining about someone cutting the chicane.
It's Jeffrey Ross and Ruben Stegeman into the pit lane to try and make it to the end from here. 22 minutes to go. They can definitely do so. Daniel Morphy closer and closer. Bossy asking for turn 1 to be looked at as well.
Then under investigation.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Oh.
Whoa. Take one more look at that. That happened very quickly. I think Bossy's... Yeah, Bossy thinks he was running to the back of, which he was.
Not expecting him to break so early, but race control will not look too fondly on that.
No, and that's not an excuse either. Race control will not... it's always your responsibility as the car behind to make sure that you're overtaking the safe manner. This is going to make this interesting, because that's the GTP down the inside and packing the GT3s up a little bit. Trying to work out who that is actually. I believe... whoa, I can't see. Car number 19, Vince van der Moelenbroeke, makes his way through, and right behind him is Davy van der Vacker, but Davy van der Vacker still has that time penalty to serve, remember. Mateus and Gutierrez into the pit lane. Lely and Fabaro carry on for another lap. It's all over the place here. Whoa! That's your leader. That's James Ebram. Spins off in traffic. He's going to get pointed back in the right direction. He'll be pretty pleased he built up that very, very big buffer. Let's take a replay at what happened here. James Ebram right on the back of the GTP. I don't think there was even any contact there, to be honest. It's just a bit of 3 into 1, doesn't go. 8 seconds still over lead for James Ebram, so he'll be pretty pleased with the way that turned out after all that. That's Alex Ott in front as well, shaping up for a move on Ivan Ubera, as Ubera goes straight on into the pit lane. Alex Ott not making the mistake of trying to outbrake his rival there. Yeah, Liam de Kock, like I said, 8 seconds still in the lead, so he'll be... James Ebram, sorry, that is still 8 seconds in the lead. He'll be pretty happy with that. These two drivers, Albert Preem yet to make his second pit, but he's fighting all over the back of him. Tell you what, we've got some very, very strong and competitive fields here. I've heard some metal crushing noises, and I think this is going to be what it is. This is Ivan Ubera and Niels Uleman coming to blows.
Oh.
Niels, who was running in the podium positions, and oh no!
Oh no!
As the GTPs get all caught up in it. That was Albert Preem, I believe. That was one of the first ones to arrive on the instant. Yeah, it's going to be Preem, and Weissen was right behind him, wasn't he? Let's take a look from Preem's perspective. Oh, there's nowhere to go. The whole track was blocked for Preem. It looks like he even got net coded on the rear end. But Preem, I'll tell you what, if he gets going, he's going to have come out with very little damage. I'll tell you, he didn't get out with little damage. Matthias Weissen behind.
No, just nowhere to go. Just unfortunately, just caught up in an incident that
That's a
had nothing to do with it.
meatball for all of those cars as well. So they're going to go to the pit lane, and some of those guys, and I think Matthias even towed, obviously, because he didn't have any front wheels. And most of those guys will likely have used their fascia pairs already as well.
Oh, we've got more incidents I can see on race control.
Yeah, we have. This is Andy Jaeger. Although we're not seeing anything here. Not sure what that's about. Showing scenic camera is a bit strange. Let's try Avale. Here we go.
Yeah, race control. Albert moved under braking, and then I think he turned into me.
I think that might have been a tap to the rear of the GT he was passing.
I think it might be here actually, because Liam Van Ellerwatt in that car is. Whoa, I think he's saying, yeah, I think he thinks that that car in front of him moved under braking.
Oh. Race control. Wow.
It's another one here. Oh, this one's not showing up either. Here it is, Anthony Caranta with a 4X. Not sure what's going to happen here because Race Control have already deemed this one no action. Nothing actually seemingly happening.
Possibility of phantoms?
I'm going to have to leave that one as it is. This is the next big one that's happened. This is Albert Preem and Alvaro Gutierrez. Alvaro not happy. I think he thinks that Preem moved under braking. Let's take another look at from Alvaro's perspective. He goes inside. Yeah, I think he thinks Preem moved under braking, which from that perspective it looks like, well, you can see why he thought that.
Yeah.
An awful lot happening in just a short space of time there.
Yeah, the other yeah, reports are coming in of no visible incident. So a lot of phantoms going around.
Davide Favaro, in all of that, has made his pit stop. Don't worry, he's not dropped down the order for damage. He has made a second stop. The cars in front of him are yet to make that stop. So Alessandro Lelli carrying on for another lap again.
What?
An awful lot going on. Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, I wonder if Lele is has a fuel saving strategy or is trying to attempt an overcut.
You'd have to say he's going to try and do a shorter pit stop at the end, wouldn't you? But to try and close that gap, he was only about 2 seconds behind. If he needs to put less fuel in, which he obviously does because he's a couple of laps later than his rival. So if he saved enough fuel, he can definitely at least close that gap in the pit lane. Taking a look at the sector times now. Favaro a little bit slower than Lely in sector 1. So this is definitely doable for Lely. Simon Bamber on his way out of the pit lane. Stays ahead of Liam de Kock. They both made 2 stops there, so I'm not sure what's happened to how Liam's managed to close that gap quite so rapidly. Not sure if we've missed something that happened to Simon. It doesn't look like we have. Into the pit then for Alessandro Lelli and for Jean-Paul Seaman from P1 and P2 on the road. Lelli with a short run out of the line. This is Davide Favaro coming down the main straight now. And I'll tell you what, Lelli's on his way out. Lelli's on his way through turn 2. This is going to be incredibly close on the exit. No, it's not, because Lelli's clear. That's Lelli up the road on his way into turn 3. And Favaro's not happy. You can see as he makes his way through the GT3 traffic, because he thought he had this one in the bag, and he's 3 seconds behind his rival now.
The shorter stop strat worked very effectively for Lele here. Oh,
Moment for Albert Preem. What's happened here? Not showing up on my logs right now.
1x?
Please,
Oh,
Mathis, push me to the wall.
lock up on the way in. I think Ponce thinks he was just pushed into the wall as well. Not got a view of that, unfortunately.
I'd like to report a dangerous manoeuvre in turn 6.
James Ibram unhappy with something that happened in turn 6 just ahead of him. Oh, there's a lot going on here. GT3's all over the place. That's I believe that's Ignis flashing his lights, telling this guy to get out of the way. Ignis, the first of the 2 stoppers it is. No one else in GT3 has made a second stop yet. Morphy, Falk, Ott and Ubertali all ahead of him have only done the 1 stop. You'd expect that at least most of them are going to have to make another stop. Adam Jarvis behind may not, but I think that Morphy through Ubertali are all going to have to make another stop. And Ignis wary of getting overcut here.
And as you say that, Ott dives into the pit to make his second stop here.
Not sure what that is. It's under investigation by Jean-Paul Seaman, because that is a 0 exit race control have slapped on him for a marker. See what's starting to heat up is LMP2 a little bit, because James is still quicker, but he's only 5-6 seconds ahead at the moment. I think he's just had a bit of unlucky moments with traffic, and Ruben Stegemann is only 4 seconds off of Simon Bamba right now, as well as Alvaro is off for track. Not sure what happened there. Let's take a look. Oh, just missed the curve. There's a 4x under investigation for Alvaro. I'm not sure if we have seen this one. Surprised we haven't heard a ruling from race control on this yet.
Yeah,
Oh, what's happened to Ruben?
Oh, whoa.
Ruben round in his pursuit of P2. That drops him off the podium. His teammate now moves into the podium positions. Let's take a look at what happened, and it's with the GT3 car number 4. Seen a couple of incidents for Brand today. Leon on the back of Casper, who just a 1/10 of a second separating the 2 of them.
On the back is putting it lightly. What's going on?
Neil's in the back. Into the wall. That was contact with Albert Preem, I think. Oh no. Ah,
Oh, no.
that's unlucky.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very unlucky for Preem there.
You hate to see that.
Leon on the back of Casper once again. Gonna get a good run here out of the final corner, it looks like. just pops out to show his nose a little bit. Deep on the brakes as well, tries to switch it around in turn 2. Can't make it work, but he's got mega drive as well. The grip all on Leon's side right now.
Just all over the rear of him. There was a...
Oh, trying to make a move, and well, let's see if Leon gets on the radio. There's an awful lot of moving from Casper in front.
Check turn 1 this lap.
Oh, Ruben's been spun again. Another incident with the GT with Ruben Stegman, which is under investigation, but it looks like a bit of neck cutting.
Oh, it's the same GT3 as well.
Yeah. Is it this? Oh no.
Luckily, Ruben had a little bit of a buffer to Pete behind.
What has just been put under investigation? Is it the...
I think this is the same incident we've already seen, isn't it? I think it might just be that one.
Is it that one? Okay. It's just... Why is it showing a third car involved there?
Yeah, it's showing 4 cars involved. I think it's because a couple of people had off tracks nearby, perhaps. So it's showing 1 X's for Pete and Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Right. In GTP, top 4, no penalties is going to affect this running order. And I'll tell you what, Jean-Paul Seaman would like to affect this running order as he's closing in on Jeffrey Ross ahead. James Ebram, that lead now down to under 7 seconds. 8 minutes to go though, so as long as he manages the gap, he should be okay to the end of the race. Jean-Paul Seaman doing a mega job. He's chopped half a second off so far this lap from Jeffrey Ross ahead.
Race control, car number 13 is ignoring blue flags. He just didn't give the position away.
Ram Karan not happy with a car with blue flags. I think that's car number 13, Jesus Jimenez, that he thinks is ignoring blue flags. Acura v Acura here. It's close, so he's shaping up for a move. 7 minutes to go, plenty of time to work out where it's best to do this one for Jean-Paul. He's not going to be able to catch Davide ahead. I'll never say never, but 17 seconds in 7 minutes would be pretty impressive.
It would be a mega drive if he could do it, but...
Oh, and he's doing it now. Oh. We missed it a little bit watching the replays. Back ahead for Jeffrey Ross, though. And Paul's going to have to try and find a better place to do it.
Traffic taketh.
Let's take a look at how it happened momentarily, and then we're going to go back to live images. It was all in the traffic, you're right. Goes around the outside as Jeffrey Ross gets boxed in, but then he boxes himself in with the move. Back at it again. These two are not going to give it up.
Once again, traffic taking away a move from John Paul.
Ross flashes his lights at the LMP2, who goes to the wrong side of a track. He avoids it, swerves back in front of the LMP2, and that's going to be another lap for Jeffrey Ross in the lead of this battle, but it's definitely going to continue heating up.
It's going to get spicy here. Who is under investigation here?
Jesus Jimenez, that's for ignoring blue flags. I think we had that reported on the radio. But yeah, it doesn't say that on the race control tracking. But neither of these drivers has a particular advantage being in the same car, of course. But they can each use the traffic to their own advantage, and Jean-Paul Siemens used it here very, very well. Round the outside, can he make it work? There's a GT3 in the way. I think he's going to get in the way again. He's going to get boxed in. He pushes the GT3 out of the way. The GT3 is not happy. Flashes his lights. Are going to be side by side into the hairpin once again. And it's going to be another corner ahead for Jeffrey Ross. He keeps using the traffic beautifully here.
Oh my god. If I had a nickel for every time Jean-Paul had a move taken by traffic this race. Oh, is he gonna do it? No, he thought better when it holds off.
What's happened to Daniel Morphy? He's got a meatball flag.
Is this for the
is it from
thing?
contact with the GTP? It was.
Oh.
He's not going to be very happy about that.
It didn't feel like a hefty thwack, but apparently it was harder than it seemed on the cameras.
Yeah, a lot of cars getting past him, and I think that's because
Jean-Paul.
of contact.
Jean-Paul.
Oh, it was into the back of the LMP2. That's what it was. Jeffrey Ross still ahead of Jean-Paul Seaman, but they're going to be side by side. And this is where they were last time. Oh, Jean-Paul goes deep across the curb, loose on the exit. Has he got a slowdown? He's not.
We will have a slowdown here. Yes. Oh my.
Jeffrey Ross gets back ahead with the better exit. We're going to be side by side into the hairpin. Seaman trying to go around the outside. Outside turns to inside. Who can lay down the power best? It looks like Seaman's got a good exit here, actually, if he can tuck in nicely. Jeffrey Ross defends the inside line, but moves back over, actually, to pick up the toe from the LMP2 ahead. That's a 269. That's one of the clogged Pipes Esports. That's Ruben Stegman. And
took a little look, thought better of it, and he will hold off for another lap. Coming up to 2 minutes to go in this race.
This is going to go to the end. You can say that for sure.
Might go to the line, actually.
Alvaro Gutierrez is also right on the back of Ayrton Kooijhoven, but we're not going to cover that too much because Ayrton's got a 5-second penalty, so whatever happens, Alvaro will finish ahead of him. Oh, deep for Jeffrey Ross on the brakes. That's going to give Jean-Paul Seaman a good run, and Jean-Paul Seaman's going to get boxed in behind the GT3 once again. No, he's not. They were in this same position last time round, and it's not worked for Jean-Paul Seaman twice in a row, but he gets a good exit this time, and I think that's going to be moved on. This is great racing.
This is wonderful. I love this battle.
Don't you dare think for a second that this is over, because Jeffrey Ross is going to fight back if he can into the chicane. And he's showing his nose. He knows he's got a chance here.
There's no... Does he do? No, 1 minute.
Jean-Paul holds on. This is an incident that's under investigation from race control. Oh, yeah. This is GT3 slams the door shut on Leon.
Look kindly on that.
It's not over till it's over. That's the view for Jeffrey Ross. He's lost the place, but he's been able to fight back. He's dropped off the back a little bit of Jeffrey Ross, but there's still traffic to come for these two.
Still within about a second of Jean-Paul. So any little mistake here could give Jeffrey Ross the position back.
Jeffrey Ross flashes his lights. I'm not sure what that one's about. Seems unhappy about something.
GT, I believe.
Yeah, can't see any other reason that he would. Just drop back a lot quite quickly, that. So it's going to need a mistake. Oh, and that's checkered flag about to drop for Alessandro Lelli as he comes across the line to win in GTP. And I tell you what, that's going to be checkered flag for James Ebram as well. He's going to win in LMP2. It's second place for Favaro. And we're just waiting to see Ignis come across the line. He celebrated a win that couldn't be taken away from him last week, but then a post-race penalty was applied. I don't believe he's under investigation for anything. I can see he's had a very, very clean race today. 0 incident points race for Ignis here as well, which is mighty, mighty impressive.
Uh-oh.
Jean-Paul Seaman completes your podium in GTP. GT3 AM winner is going to be Michael Kalmberger. Stella Botkoven's already taken the checkered flag because of their position relative to the leader. And Ignis will be pretty happy with that one.
Pretty happy. I can feel he's pretty happy about that one.
Weaving before the checkered. As we've got some donuts in turn 1 and in the runoff area. Mega result for Ignis there. It's going to really help him out in the championship battle. Lely beats Favaro after running second most of the race. Makes it work with a shorter pit stop at the end. Oh, a lot of penalties being slapped on at the end. We're going to see you updated if this affects anything.
You know black flags? Blue flags, sorry?
There's discussion on the radio between some of the drivers.
Good race, guys.
Good fight to the finish. Great race, guys. Thank you.
So, mega race today.
It's close enough for a screenshot.
A couple of the drivers are expressing their displeasure with some of the things. So, hopefully broadcast doesn't get that too well.
Okay, we're going to run you through the results here that we have. So let's go to our results tab for GTP. Alessandro Lely wins, like we said, after running P2 most of the race. He'll be pretty pleased with that. Davide Favaro in P2. Jean-Paul Seaman comes home to finish P3 after that exciting battle with Jeffrey Ross at the end of the race. Ayrton Koikoven finished on track in P5. Alvaro Gutierrez P6. Davy van der Vakke P7. Vincent van der Meulenbroek P8. Matthias Weiss in P9. Juanto Avale in P10. And we've got a couple more to run you through quickly. That's going to be Carlos Pons in P11. Albert Pre in P9. And Quinton Verdonk 16 laps down and will not be classified in P13. I'm going to run you through LMP2, and that's not showing us the right results. James Ebram came home to finish P1, 6 seconds lead, makes it look a lot closer than it was. He was 16 plus seconds in the lead at one point, but lost a load of time after a spin, but got it going without any damage and maintained the lead. Simon Bamber came home to finish P2. Sebastian van der Heuvel P3. Ruben Stegemann had a couple of incidents with a GT3 car. That's what dropped him down off the podium, but still managed to finish P4 ahead of Leon de Kock, Leon van Ellewaert, Pete Preens, Daniel Reneke, Casper Hu, Melvin Gack in P10, and Andy Jaeger P11, Christian Glamstetter P12. I believe neither of those guys will be classified to finish. Davide Favaro saying he finished with 3 laps of fuel, so over fueled significantly. That's why he lost the lead. GT3 Pro, Ines Vincereskis wins, and hopefully this time it won't be taken away from him. Luigi Nespolini P2, Oriol Falk P3, Alex Ott P4, Matteo Vitali P5, Adam Jarvis P6, Massimiliano Legeri P7, Norzag Hani P8, Daniel Moore P9, Perrin Bailon P10, and Ivan Ubera 13 laps down in P11. He is on the limit of not being classified, I believe. We'll have to wait for the official confirmation by race control. In GT3 AM, your race winner was Michael Kalmberger. Senna Botkoven came home to finish P2. All of these guys showing a lap down. They are, in fact, not a lap down. That is just a timing error because of the way that Michael actually did one more lap than them because of where they were relative to the GTP leader. Senna Botkoven P2, Nicole Monti P3, Mick Shahan P4, Timon Scholten P5, Anthony Caranta P6, Bram Cran P7, Sander Bauer P8, Jesus Jimenez P9, Quinton Bossisivo in P10, and Matteo Lamoury P11. Niels Ulemani ran very well until he had that incident late in the race in P12. Sven Elmers in P13, 30 laps down, and will not be classified. All right, we've got a couple of people waiting for interview, so I'm going to try and drag them into this channel, see if I can reach all the way down. Otherwise, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. No, we can't drag them down, in fact. Michael, well done on the win in GT3 AM. Pretty impressive. It shows you were a lap ahead. I know you weren't a full lap ahead, but congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys once again. So yeah, it was. I wouldn't say as always, but I'm doing always the same, like managing traffic, trying to save fuel. In the second stint, I had Jarvis in front, and this was quite good for saving some fuel.
Yeah.
And yeah, just avoided everything as much as I could, and yeah, here we go again.
Yeah, well, congratulations. It looked like the prototypes were maybe a little bit better behaved this week as well, which I don't know how from your view, but...
Yeah, it was okay. So for me, there was no scary situation at all. But yeah, always trying to look ahead.
All right, well, congratulations. That's puts you in pretty strong standings in the championship, I believe, as well. So well done.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Senna, P2, I believe once again, like I just said to Michael, it's showing you a lap down. You obviously weren't a full lap down. So, yeah, pretty well done. I think you'll be pretty pleased with that, are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased, especially with how the race went. I think Michael just was a tad too fast for me to keep up. But eventually it all worked out. Had a great battle with Niels as well. Had a few scary moments where I had to thread the needle. It was quite scary, but happy with P2 here.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty pleased with the way the traffic worked out, especially with this track being pretty street course-ish at most places. It all turned out fairly well, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Ignis, I know you said it last week, but as far as I can see, there's no reason why that won't be the case this week. Congratulations. I think this is a win that you're not going to lose, so congratulations.
Thank you. I'm hoping I did everything right, I think, this time. I did learn my lesson. Did count on my hand even 10 seconds, so should be good.
All right, well, yeah, congratulations. And I think you're doing pretty well in the championship given all this as well, so good luck in that.
Yeah, thank you very much. So happy for the win.
All right, and James, you kind of had our hearts going a little bit when you had that little spin, but you built up, I think, 16 seconds at that point. A lot better for you than last week when you got caught up in the multi-class incident with the spin in front of you, I believe. So congratulations on a pretty dominant win.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it was a lot of the driving from both classes was generally better. Less unpredictability from sort of lines of GT3s and what they were doing when regarding pitting or letting other cars pass. I mean, there were a couple of moments, but there was a lot less than last time. And the GTPs, I don't even recall a moment with a GTP, which is incredible. But yeah, it was, I think, the whole race, it was a bit of a shame at the start. I think it was a wheel disconnect, wasn't it? And it just took a lot of people out. So it was a bit, yeah, it was a bit lonely, but I think it was a good result. Yeah,
well, yeah, we saw what happened at the start. I think, like you said, someone had mentioned it. They had a wheel issue, and then they were pretty high up the order, and it just sort of all came together, didn't it? But yeah, congratulations.
Cheers, guys.
All right, Adrian, your first time in the commentary booth with me. Have a moment of the race?
Moment of the race would be the Jeffrey Ross and the Jean-Paul Seaman battle for the last podium position.
Yeah, that was particularly brilliant. I think they swapped places about 8 times before it was finally settled.
A few times. And traffic being, of course, a big factor in multi-class racing, and that we really saw it here at a track like Gilles Villeneuve. Overall, it was a good race. It was great to watch.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you for joining me, and thanks to everyone. It was honestly brilliant to have some company. Sometimes I have to do this on my own, and it can get pretty... you kind of run out of things to say occasionally, especially when you're trying to control all the cameras and everything as well. So brilliant to have you. Thank you very much. All right, and thanks to everyone that joined us from home as well. I'm hoping that you enjoyed today's race. It was a pretty good one. We're still working on those highlights for Long Beach, and hopefully be with you as soon as possible for anyone that wants to catch up. But other than that, we'll see you back next week. Adrian, I don't know if you know off the top of your head where we are. I'm just going to try and find it where we are next week. Le Mans next week.
Le Mans. Oh boy, Le Mans is going to be.
And I don't know how many of the drivers have actually realised this yet, but we have an 8 times multiplier on at Le Mans, so we're going to start at sunset, and it should be sunrise by the time the session ends. So that's going to be really, really interesting.
It's going to be a very fun time for race control, I bet.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to everyone that joined us, and we'll see you next time.